What it do, guys? It is your boy, Leon Mookie here, back to you with another new chapter of The Heroic Demon King of Tech. Honestly, this is going to probably be one of my most ambitious, but also one of the slowest updating stories, to be honest. I don't just want Izuku to be overpowered and basically saturated with women all around him. No, I want him to earn this shit by growing stronger while also going through hardships here and there after all. So with that said, and a little bit of a heads up on this story, let's go with that of a pretty necessary recap. In the last part, Izuku's life is not perfect, to be honest, with many basically things always getting in his way. From the first thing being that his mother currently in the hospital due to her being caught up in that of a villain attack, forcing Izuku to move out of his, apartment home that he's lived in ever since he was a kid, to that of a single bedroom apartment complex, having to work a part-time job to support himself while his father basically pays for his mother's hospital bills, as his life as basically a quirkless person has been nothing but hell and back after all. On one shift at his work, he soon runs into that of a bunch of, delinquents or bullies basically beating on this one guy with spiky purple hair, with Izuku trying to defend him, letting him run off. At the same time, Izuku basically gets his ass beaten constantly, to the point of near death, honestly, until he was saved by a pro hero, that pro hero being Eraserhead. As Izuku was almost close to being sent to another world and isekai'd, however, a certain person intervened, allowing him to stay in this world, but and this time gain that of a unique system, otherwise known as the otherworldly system. With this system, he's given access and abilities for that of powerful individuals, as he was able to summon 5 powerful women to his hospital room, as this would be the beginning of his journey to become the world's greatest hero and its future ruler. So, with all that said, let's get into this, shall we, guys? Chapter 1, I Still Want to Be a Hero. After a few days recovering and out of the hospital room, Izuku has had a unique interactions with that of his new otherworldly companions, he should say. Some of them otherworldly, by any chance. First off, the one that gave him the, introduction of who they are, and also about that of his new powers, or rather the system he was given. The one known as Eve, a short, small girl, young, blonde-haired girl with a white dress, and the one with that of the drones basically circling around her. She's known as an automaton, an artificially created human, as their bodies are basically similar to that of normal humans. It is their brains and minds that are basically artificial entirely. And she isn't the only one. The one with that of the revealing prison clothes straitjacket, with the long black raven hair and the heterochromia eyes, is otherwise known as Delta. She was considered a rogue automaton, and because of that, she was basically forced in prison. But now, being summoned and basically under that of Izuku's jurisdiction, her settings and her factory settings have basically been reset to him and him alone, so she won't rebel at all. However, Izuku wonders on why she even rebelled to begin with. Next up is the other automaton, which is surprisingly that of the woman with that of the Egyptian revealing clothing, actually, otherwise known as Iota. Just like Eve and Delta, she is also a automaton, the 24th automaton, actually. But now, in the world that she's now from, or originally come from, is known as the ruler and judge of the golden nation of Ephra. As for that of the other one, the one with that of the wedding dress, her name is Diane Scarcere, one of the, Scarseed 12 disciples, basically parts of the Church of Nopris, the world where she comes from. She basically wears a wedding dress mainly because, well, she's looking for the perfect husband, actually. The woman is love crazy, and the moment she saw Izuku, well, let's just say Izuku never thought that he would ever meet a woman who would actually have any interest in him at all due to his quirklessness. But for Diane, the moment she saw him, for her, it was love at first sight. Luckily, Iota was there, given that she's close friends with Diane, to keep her in check. And the last but not least, the last person that Izuku summoned, otherwise known as Rana, the one in out of the purple dress, and with the purple hair and her crimson red eyes, looked kind of lifeless, gazing out in the distance for something, but can't grasp to nothing. Izuku found out that she's actually from this world, the same world where Izuku is from, a world of quirks. She has that of a unique super strength quirk, actually. It's not on the same level as that of All Might's when it comes to One for All, but it's a pretty above average super strength quirk. And this isn't her first time being summoned. The first time she was summoned, it was mainly out of her mundane and normal life, forced to fight for that of people that she knows nothing about or cares anything about, forced with many others who she even defends, or her enemies calling her a monster. Due to this, she's became nothing but just a lifeless puppet. Due to the trauma, it led to her losing her memories, mainly of that of her childhood and growing up in her own world outside of her originally coming from another world after all. But the thing that keeps her to remember that of her life outside of being summoned was singing children's songs. Given Izuku's new companions, let's just say things are a lot more complicated now. Arriving back at his apartment complex with that of his newest friends, and let's just say the bus ride, and also having that of multiple people staring at that of these girls around Izuku was kind of uncomfortable as hell. Not to mention a few pro heroes alongside that of a few cops kinda were giving that of, well, Iota and Diane some, well, flack for that of their attire after all. It almost didn't went well, especially with Diane almost bringing out that of her weapon after all, which is basically a giant ass hammer. However, Izuku's basically smoothed things out. Officer, they're new here and they just arrived. They didn't have any other spare clothes. I think he plans on basically giving them in the future, so they have nothing to worry about. With that, the officer just leaves Izuku be, finally arriving home and entering inside of the one-bedroom apartment, with all 5 women entering inside, with soon Diane saying, "So this is your home, hubby? It's a little smaller than I expected, but I think we can make this work to make it homesy." With Izuku's face going nuclear red, as then Iota basically grabbing Diane by that of her wedding collar, saying, "Diane, you're making the master feel uncomfortable. Please control yourself." Saying, "But I can't. But I just said what was on my mind. What's so wrong with that?" Within, Delta still having her arms basically bound together by that of the magnetic cuffs, within saying, "So this is where Master lives? This will be our home for the time being? Is this truly necessary?" Within, Izuku couldn't help but sigh, saying, "Look, I'm sorry, I don't have enough room, and I refuse to allow you girls to go into the bathroom after all. I can probably find some places for you guys to stay." Within, soon, Eve basically brings up saying, "No need for that, Master. There actually is a way for you to give us out of our own home while you have still your own privacy for the time being as well. But you can also use this place for yourself too, if you feel like it." But then, hearing this, Izuku saying, "Wait, seriously? What is it?" Within, she's saying, "Go to your systems." Within, soon going to that opening up that of the system menu. Within, heading to that of the systems. Within, looking through that of the menu, going to adventure, saying, "To gain more features, you must earn them. First task, prove your worthiness. Fight against that of automaton foes in 3 matches. If you can defeat all 3 without losing a single party member within your team, you will gain that of the base functions, a pocket dimension HQ that allow you and that of your heroes lodgings for the time being. However, fail to achieve each objective, the base functions will remain locked to you for the next 5 months. Within hearing that, he's saying, "Are you serious? I have to fight? But I can't. I don't." Delta walks over to Izuku, placing her hands on Izuku's shoulder, with leaving Izuku quite blushing and, well, somewhat shocked, as he also flinches a bit, within thinking that he was about to be hit, within Delta saying, "My apologies, Master. I didn't mean to scare you like that. I was just trying to comfort you." Within Izuku saying, "No, it's fine. I just completely shocked." Within Iota looking at this alongside that of Diane. Within Diane saying, "Iota, do you think that hubby is..." Within Iota saying, "Most likely. It only makes sense he would flinch like that." Within soon, Iota saying, "Allow me to make a proposition for you, Master." Within looking at that of the ruler, the automaton turned ruler, within saying, "Why don't you allow us to do all the fighting?" Within realizing, "Wait, what? But I can't." Eve spoke up saying, "That is actually a great idea. Iota-san, if you cannot feel like you are capable or ready to fight alongside us, then allow us to do the fighting for you. Allow us to be your shield and sword for the time being, until you are truly ready to fight alongside us. If that is okay with you." Within Izuku feeling a little bit down and also feeling a little bit inadequate about this, having others fight for him when this is supposed to be for him. Within soon, Diane going to Izuku, placing her hand on his cheek as he's about to flinch. However, she wouldn't allow that, saying, "Hubby, please, let us do this for you. Until you are ready, we'll always fight for you and protect you, right? Don't you think that this is right for us? After all, this is our decision, right?" Within Izuku, still face going completely red, as he wanted to deny this and say that he should do this himself and probably fight, but realizing that he can't, saying as he just decides to just nod, wanting, well, Diane to let go of him. Within, she jumps in the air, allowing that of her giant assets to basically bounce at the same time, saying, "Great, let's do this. Start it up, my darling." Within, Izuku going to that, starting up that of the systems, with Zune saying, "Start up your team. You must have that of 4 people fight alongside you." With Izuku shocked saying, "So they had to tag along with me anyway?" Within, looking around, realizing he only has that of 5, well, people fighting for him. Within seeing that of Ranha, within thinking that maybe it's best that she doesn't fight. She doesn't look like she's in the best condition and shape, especially what she told Izuku about herself when he summoned her. Deciding to keep her out of this, deciding to go with that of Eve, Delta, Diane, and Iota, as he looks at that of the system and the placement saying, "This seems like something you would see from that of a video game. Just like I thought before, but still, it's so weird." With now each of the girls now placed on that of the fighting stance, within seeing that of enemies, saying, "Huh? So these are the enemies I'm facing against?" Not be able to get a better look at them, but still looking like they're basically machines though, especially given the black sleek design and the glowing lines basically coming down them. Would Izuku hesitate to even press the button? Not because he's scared, well, he's a little bit scared of course, but he doesn't want them to basically put themselves in danger for him. This is something he has to do, right? So why? Why does it feel wrong? It feels so wrong to basically allow them to fight when he should be doing this himself. As Izuku's shaking, as part of him feels ashamed of his fear, ashamed of his sadness, ashamed of everything about himself. Hesitating on pressing that of the begin button, Deanne presses it for him. But then, Izuku completely shocked with her saying, "Don't worry, hubby. We are here for you like I said." With Izuku still utterly shocked about this, before then, everything goes dark. Before then, soon seeing that of almost like that of a vortex basically consuming him, with his eyes completely and utterly at all, before then arriving into that of a large bridge. As the bridge design almost looks like similar to that of ancient architecture. However, there are basically glowing line patterns going around it, almost like that of a that you would see for a, well, LED lights actually, showing that it's some kind of ancient technology or magic, leaving Izuku utterly, completely dumbfounded, saying, "Whoa, what is..." Before then, Iota saying, "Prepare, master, it is time." Within, noticing that of the mechanical creatures that were on that of his system display, with then seeing a better look at them as they basically have no legs, as it looks like they are hovering in the air. However, they have that of bladed arms, some with that of Gatling guns, but still look like that of a mixture of a, well, dog-like creature, but with no snout and basically a visor-like glass substance for eyes. It's the one with blades having that of an red-like energy blades, while the other with that of Gatling guns have that of green-like energy running through them. Within, Izuku completely and utterly shocked by this, saying, "Whoa, this is insane." Not really scared, but more like intrigued than anything about this. With soon materializing from that of a bright light, being that of a massive indigo hammer, with that of gold embroidery across it, as this is Diane's personal weapon. Within, Izuku seeing the hammer as he got glimpses of it a few times, but now seeing it in person, this is insane. Not only that, Delta, as you could hear that of a beeping sound, before then hearing a pre-recorded voice over that of the handcuffs hissing within soon. Within, they're basically removing from that of the locks, as soon Delta begins to basically stretch her arms and that of her body, saying, "Restraints removed. Automatic systems activated. Entering combat mode. Delta ready to fight, master." With Izuku utterly shocked by this, Eva bringing out that of her wand before the drones circling around her, saying, "Give us your commands, master. We are ready." Within, Izuku saying, "Wait, commands? But I thought..." Before he could finish, that's when the one of the bots with that of the blade, the energy-like blades, rushed towards straight for Izuku. With Izuku completely shocked by this, before then, Diane steps in. Before then, swinging her massive hammer, basically sending it flying into that of the other robots as well, as many of them collapse while the one who was sent flying explodes, creating that of a small chain reaction among them. Within, Izuku, face completely, utterly dumbfounded, shocked, and completely at all. Within, Diane basically dematerializing that of her hammer before bouncing over to that of Izuku, making that of her, well, assets juggle again, before then saying, "So, did I do good, hubby?" With Izuku still completely dumbfounded and shocked, saying, "Yeah, you were amazing." Before then, that's when the robots that are still basically around and weren't caught up completely by the explosion, the ones with that of the Gatling guns, fire that of a barrage of energy-like constructs towards them. Within, Izuku shocked about this before Iota soon stands in front. Before then, materializing that of a somewhat Egyptian shield made from that of a purple spell circle, as it spins, protecting that of the party from the fire. Within, Iota saying, "Apologies, master. We should expect that you would already know about that of our abilities and skills, since you were in the hospital for the meantime." Within, Izuku saying, "Well, yeah, but I was focusing on recovering. I didn't think about this system thing before until now." Within, Eva saying, "Understandable, master. Until this, we'll give you that of a rundown of what we're capable of outside of just our backstories. It's our duty to protect you. So it's only natural that you need to understand what we're truly capable of so we can basically reach our true potential amongst ourselves. Within Izuku hearing that, before then, Eve's drones send that of a barrage of laser fire towards that of the other robots, as damaging them bit by bit. Before then, they stagger a bit. Seeing the perfect opportunity, that's when Delta basically steps in, saying, entering assault mode, as she runs towards them at that of blinding speeds, pretty damn fast actually. Almost as fast as that of Ingenium for Izuku standards. Within, sending that of one powerful devastating punch towards one of them, right through their gut. Within, it explodes. However, Delta doesn't stop there, as she goes to the other one and rips off its head, before then tossing it to the side before its body explodes as well. Within, looking around, saying, enemies eliminated. I think it's best we move on, Master. With Izuku still completely dumbfounded, as then being taken by that of Iota by the hand, saying, please keep up, Master, as this is our duty to protect you. Within, still completely off guard as Izuku falls after. Within, facing against another roll of monsters as well. Within, as the girls basically do the same thing they did with that of the others. They are a little bit tanky, but they still able to demolish them pretty easily. With Izuku wondering, why? Why am I even here? What's the point? It's not like it matters, right? But then, basically gripping his hand, saying, why did this thing even choose me? Why do I have these girls here with me? Their kindness, their worry about me, it's something I'm not so used to. As Izuku basically comes to the dilemma that so much has happened. So much things have happened from being hospitalized after all. It's just hard to accept. Before then, they finally arrive at that of the final battle. Within, soon, Izuku noticed something through that of the system. Before then, noticing something materializing in that of blinding light. As coming out of it seems like that of a giant monster. One monster that basically looks like that of the other robots. However, instead of it having that of Gatling guns or blades, it has that of a full body, actually, with arms and legs and everything. However, it's massive and gives off that of a powerful roar. But then, Izuku realized, wait, this is the boss? Before reading its title saying, System Guardian, Type MZ40, Baruka. Within, Iota basically using the magic to also sense it around, saying is a little bit stronger, but nothing that we can't handle. Within, Izuku realizing, wait, what are you? Before then, soon, bringing out that of a massive spell circle, as it soon engulfs everything. But then, soon, Izuku wondering, what's going on? Before Eve saying, take a good look, Master. This is the true power of an automaton that has reached their true perfection, the heights of their ability. Within, soon, you could see that of sand everywhere. Before then, seeing that of tons of ancient technology wrapped around that of the sand, added that with the pyramids and palm trees as well. Before then, seeing Iota on that of a pyramid stand. Within saying, see, I'll show you the power of one who guards all knowledge and ability. Before then, another spell circle materializes, as then it looks like that of a magical creature, completely made out of metal or technology as well. As looking better at it, as it almost looks like that of a giant jackal, as it radiates that of powerful dark magic. With then Izuku seeing this saying, whoa, as Iota comments saying, this is my guardian. My code, Anubis. Seeing the pure mechanical guardian stand in front, basically floating in front. But then, that's when the boss soon rushes towards the Anubis. Within, the Anubis also fights back too, as blow after blow from their punches, with it as sending that of tons of shockwaves from each attack, with Izuku completely and utterly shocked seeing this. As for that of his, companions, they're not even phased one bit. Within, the Anubis, seeing the perfect opportunity, sends that of a powerful uppercut, before then flying up into the air, sending that of a powerful downward slam onto that of the boss, sending that of a powerful burst of dark magic consuming the entire area, with Izuku wondering if this is that they're going to get caught up in that of the shockwave and burst of dark magic. Before then, everything fades, seeing that of the Anubis also fading away, with even the landscape too, with Izuku thinking, wait, was that all in our heads? Or within, Eva saying, take a look, master. Seeing the boss, as Izuku noticing that the boss is completely and utterly on the ground, battered, bruised, and beaten, with circuitry basically spreading everywhere, as Iota slamming her staff onto that of the ground before having a look towards that of Izuku. However, instead of it being a stoic or serious look, it almost seems like a look her eyes say that she's looking for praise from Izuku, with Izuku wanting to say something. However, noticing that the boss is starting to get up, before then noticing the system that the boss is on that of one is still not completely dead yet, as Izuku's eyes widening in shock as the boss soon gets back up on its feet. Before then, it growling, narrowing his eyes at that of Iota, within feeling like it's about to give, however using its last remaining of its strength, rushes towards Iota, however Izuku, just like before, just like during that alleyway, his body moved on its own, heading straight for Iota, with everybody else completely and utterly shocked, with even Iota noticing this, saying, Master, what are you? Before then, pushing that of the caramel skin automaton out of the way, within soon noticing that of the boss about to slam his fist into Izuku, within preparing for that of the attack, but without warning, that's when the others also stepped in too to defend Izuku, as Delta alongside Diane defend Izuku from the attack, with Diane using her hammer and Delta materializing that of a digital shield around her, with Izuku completely shocked by this, saying, wait, you girls protected me, and Iota, within Delta saying, my priority main objective is to protect you, Master Izuku. That is what matters the most right now. As for Diane, on the other hand, her eyes are basically shadowed by that of her lime green hair, within saying, you have some nerve thinking of hurting my honey! Before then, knocking back the fist. However, Diane, with that of fire in her eyes, basically jumps up into the air with her hammer and slams the hammer over and over and over again into the boss, with every strike getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Before then, one last hit, however, in the process, creates that of a giant cloud of holy energy, as the holy magic basically almost looks like that of a heart, with leaving Izuku completely and utterly dumbfounded and shocked by this, that Diane basically just pulverized that of the boss, like then and there. Before then, Izuku looking at his system saying, congratulations, task has been achieved. All monsters have been defeated, with all allies not hurt or taken out. Objectives fulfilled. You have gained that of the base. Bonus objective fulfilled. The act of moving on one's own. Your body, even though you have no power right now, your body still acts on protecting others. To others, it's suicidal, but to those with heart, it's seen as bravery and protection. You have gained that of an achievement. You have that of 10 summoning tickets. Bonus objective unfulfilled. Give orders to that of your companions. You have not given a single order. You will not gain that of a reward. Within, Izuku hearing this saying, wait, I was really supposed to give them orders? I should have realized this before then, saying, summoning tickets. This really is something like those weird gacha games that a lot of people at school play sometimes. But still, this base function. As Izuku getting curious about it, that's when everything begins to fade. Before then, getting out of that as the vortex soon appears once again, sucking up everybody. Before then, Izuku arrives back at his apartment before realizing, whoa, that was crazy. Before then, soon looking at his systems as giving that of a glowing icon, as this showing that of a world, that of a globe symbol, as then as the words say base, realizing, so this is it. Before then, tapping on the base functions, as soon consuming everybody in Izuku once again, saying, I am seriously not going to get used to this. Before then, the bright lights soon fade. Before then, Izuku began to hear birds chirping, fresh air, almost like that if he's in the countryside. However, he's not. Before then, looking outside, he notices he's in a completely total different room, almost looking like that of a command center, actually. As Izuku completely, utterly shocked by this. Before then, noticing tons of devices that he has nothing about, stuff that you would see from a futuristic sci-fi movie. Before then, noticing outside, realize that he's pretty high up, almost like he's in that of a skyscraper or a tower. Within, soon, Eva spoke up saying, welcome, master, to your home base. With Iota speaking up over that of Eva, saying, this will be our lodgings for the time being, when you are not needing us to have us fight, or need us for that of task outside of combat. Within, Diane basically looking around saying, it's no holy temple, but I think I can get used to this. Plus, I can make it homey for hubby and I. Within, Rana basically going over to Izuku saying, are you okay, Midoriya? Are you worried? Saying, I'm still in shock about all of this. Everything, but still. Before then, looking at his system, saying, this will allow you to basically gather materials, make materials, and even improve that of your living situations. Currently now, your base only allows you that of a living quarters, command center, and also it's linked to that of the outside world on where you live at as well. Time moves just the same as outside as well. So it's not a full-on separate pocket dimension, but just a separate realm of reality connected to yours. So use this place to your best abilities, while also improving yourself to become the hero you are meant to be, Izuku Midoriya. Within hearing that, that's when the message ends. Before then, Izuku realized, I still feel like this should have been gone to somebody better, somebody more capable. Within, soon, Diane saying, hubby, are you okay? I mean, we know we just took care of, but within, Izuku saying, I'm just glad that you helped me. Sorry that I put you in that situation. Within, Diane basically going to Izuku's face, making his face go completely utterly red, saying, Oh, my precious darling, you don't need to worry about that. Within, Izuku saying, why do you keep calling me this? We just met. And within, she placing her hands on Izuku's. Within, Izuku going red even more before saying, because I feel like you need somebody that loves you, just as I need somebody that loves me for me. You feel like a broken soul that needs comfort. That's why I'll be there for you, and I know you'll be there for me, right? Within, Izuku completely utterly shocked by this, completely caught off guard by that of her words, as it almost sounds like she's just loving him for that of comfort, but for some reason, the words don't feel like that. Her words really meant it. Genuinely, just by looking, it's almost like the moment she saw him, she was already in love with Izuku from the moment that they set eyes on each other. With Izuku still completely utterly shocked, for some reason, he couldn't help but began to start crying before being comforted by Diane, and not just her, but also by Delta, and for some reason even that of Runa as well. Within, Iota saying, "We have quite the unique and tragic master, do we not, Eva?" Within saying, "Yes, it seems so. That's why we have to do our duty as automatons and guide him. It's what we were told to do when we were summoned to this world by him." But then, Iota saying, "Yes, but for the meantime, we must build him up. This world has done everything it can to tear him down, so we must be the ones to raise him to what he was always meant to be, a hero," as the system continues to say. Within, Eva saying, "Even though the two of us do not see eye to eye, at least at this point, I do agree," as the two automatons still look at that of their master, being comforted and looked after by his new companions, as Izuku's journey has just begun. And that's it. Thank you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. Please tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Love to read them. So, how'd you guys like this part? Honestly, sorry that this isn't a long one. I wanted to make this a pretty short chapter, to be honest. Unlike that of my past Izukus where I build them up over time, I'm going to be needing to build this Izuku up through the story after all. In this society, he has been beaten down to the point that he barely has anybody in his corner at all. So having that of actual positive support and people who genuinely care about him outside of family is kind of surprising. So yeah, this Izuku is going to be going through a journey of self-confidence building and reaching a level beyond what people could think of. So yeah, at any rate, if you guys like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification key to date my videos uploaded to the channel. Also, please check out my Discord, my gaming channel, my main channel, my other channel, my Patreon, my Cash App, and my PayPal. All linked in the description below. So, with all that said, this is Leon Mookie, signing out. Later guys, hope you all take care.